Hello, I want to present the solution of the wooden puzzle called Checkerboard by the company Siebenstein. Let's start with a look at the puzzle and a short introduction. So that's the board, Checkerboard. You can get it for 39 euros. The company is called Siebenstein, a German company. And yeah, this is the setup. So you have 25 tiles which you can move around. You have 4 so-called parking positions here. And the objective is to get each color in each row, column and diagonal. Yeah, the objective as given on the product sheet. Shift all 25 tiles in such a way that there aren't 2 tiles of the same color in any perpendicular, horizontal or diagonal line. Then shift all tiles back to start. Okay, it's not really absolutely precise, but I assume they mean that both diagonals, so this one and this one, should have different tiles. In this start position here, of course this is given, but we have all the same colors in a row, so we need to change this. Okay, I'm going to show how to do it. If you want to have a look at the solution, so that's the start position here, and this is the solution I'm going to show you. And I will do this in several small steps. Okay, the first thing I want to do is present you a few improvements I did to the board. Okay, so this is the board, showing by my camera. Here the name, Checkerboard and Siebenstein Spiele. When I bought it, it was really hard to move these different tiles. The reason is that they got stuck. So I did several changes to this board. The first thing is I removed this middle layer here. So this one is the original layer and I replaced it by plywood. And it's a little bit smaller or thinner. And also I introduced a few washers. You can see it between these layers here to get a smaller width, and this is the first thing I did, that these tiles don't get stuck so often. Second thing I did is I glued the tiles to these pins here, so they won't get stuck that easily. And the last thing, if you compare my board to the original board, you can see that I changed colors. And the reason is they had 3 different colors really white, so it's really hard. No, 2 colors white, and to distinguish them I turned these tiles around and I found like a little ring here, so this is easy to differentiate these 2. And another problem was that these 3 middle rows had all a similar brown color. So what I did is I chose one of the brown colors and painted all the tiles black. So it's much easier now to differentiate the different colors, and it's easier to solve. One more thing to mention, so we have 25 pins altogether. 13 have their pins facing down and the other 12 have the pins facing up. And these 4 positions here, I call them parking positions. These 2 are only good for pins which face upward. So to show you, you can't move this one in, but you can move, let's say, do it like this. You can move this one in here. Yeah, so this is working. These are these 2 parking positions, and for these 2 here, it's the other way around. You can also only park tiles there which have a downward facing pin. So this one goes in here, but this one won't fit in here. So this is important to remember because we need to use these parking positions later. Okay, let's just move back to the start position so I don't get confused later on. Okay, that's the setup. Okay, next step in my presentation will be, so this was the improvements to the board. I will paste this all in the video description so you can have a look at it later in more detail. So now, before we start solving this problem, we have to do some mathematics. So the thing they are asking for, if you translate it into math, it's called, you have to find Latin squares. And to show you this, I just opened the Wikipedia link. Oops, this is not a correct link. Let me just use this one here. Okay, so Latin squares have a long history. Already Leonhard Euler had mathematical formulations regarding this problem, so it's really old. A classical Latin square is like different numbers or letters in each row and column, not the diagonal. This comes in the next step. And if you look at the Wikipedia, you see that we have like 56 reduced Latin squares. So there are like equivalence classes between these different Latin squares, and altogether we have 161,000. So quite a big number, but keep in mind these are not diagonal Latin squares, so we have to be more precise here. And in order to find these, I came up with this website here. It's the number of diagonal Latin squares of order n, with the first row in order. And here's the online encyclopedia of integer sequences. And if you, I will give the link in the details of the video. So if you look here, you can see all 8 solutions. So these are the 8 solutions. And we can use them now for solving our problem, our puzzle. And for the demonstration, I will use this Latin square down here. And as you can see, they use the numbers from 0 to 4. And then it's also in the diagonal form. So 0, 4, 3, 2, 1 is fine. 2, 0, 3, 1, 4 is fine. And also if you take the sub diagonals here, for example 3, 1, 4, 2, 0, it's also fine. So it actually doesn't really matter. So all the diagonals fulfill the requirements. Yeah? And there are 8 of them, and I will just use this one here. Okay, in order to do this, I wrote down these numbers here on this sheet. And in order to solve it, I put it here, and I turn the checkerboard, so this will be color 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now all we have to do is to move these tiles exactly in these positions here. For example, like I said, we start with the parking position. So in these 4 positions we need here number 1, so here needs to be this number, and then also with pins facing down, so we can use the parking position. And there's another example here. We will use color 0, so this white needs to go here. Yeah, and I won't show the entire solution. I just maybe show how to get color 1 in this position. So this brown needs to go here, as I said, pin down, so I would use this one to go here. Okay, so let's start. First, let's use the parking positions. This is not possible here, so what I do is I take this one and put it in here. And also here we can, for example, use this one. And as you can see now, you have, because all these parking positions are in place, you have 4 places which stay free in the middle. And this is really quite sufficient to do all the shifts which are required. So to remember, this one should go here. Yeah, so color 1 needs to go here. So we need to remove these here and get this in place. And we can just do it like this, put this over here. This too. This one goes up, this one goes here. Again, like 4 positions stay free. Now this one comes over here, and we can move this one here. And now here is enough space to move these over, also the last one. Now, as I wanted to do it, this brown one is in position, and we can from now on hide it in here. So following this, you can like fill the other parking positions, and the next step would be to complete, so if you have these first, to complete the top and bottom, first and last column. So these go next. Then you do these two columns, and you save the middle column for the last step. And it's quite easy to do it because you always have these four positions which you can need to move all the other tiles around. Maybe let's do another one. So this one here needs to be the white one here, and this is really quite easy. We move these over, and here is the white one with pin facing down, so we can insert it here. Then move this over, move this down, and voila, number 0, color 0 is in this parking position. Okay, as you can see, it's really not too hard. Once you got this solution here, moving the tiles around is really quite easy. Okay, yeah, maybe I show you that it's possible that like this is the solution, but it's before I changed color, so keep this in mind. Yeah, if you are more interested in the mathematics, I will put down a link in the video description which shows you how to construct a solution for these diagonal Latin squares for 5 or larger numbers. Okay, that's all. Thanks for watching and enjoy your puzzle. Bye.